Hello viewers, welcome back to our channel, where we explore little-known stories and fierce battles taking place right in the heart of modern America. In today's video, we will learn about a real battle for survival, not between humans, but between humans and a seemingly harmless creature that is causing unpredictable consequences: wild boars. This is not just a story about protecting crops or livelihoods, but a modern epic, where fishermen, farmers, and hunters have to take up arms, rush into fields, swamps, and forests, not to hunt for fun, but to fight a species that is destroying billions of dollars in property each year. Wild hogs in America, also known as feral hogs, are not native. They were brought here hundreds of years ago to serve the purpose of raising for meat and as game. But once they escape into the wild, they multiply like wildfire, combining their fierce vitality, incredible intelligence, and terrifying destructive power. And now America is feeling the consequences. These feral pigs don't just destroy crops, they disrupt entire ecosystems. With their powerful, razor-sharp snouts, they tear up cornfields, destroy pastures, tear up irrigation systems, and even cause traffic accidents when they suddenly rush onto the road. Worse yet, they spread diseases to livestock and humans. Becoming a real threat to American agriculture. And why do fishermen have to join the fight? Because in coastal areas like Texas, Louisiana, and Florida, where mangroves, swamps, and aquaculture farms intertwine, feral pigs appear like nightmares. They break into fish and shrimp farms, eat all the aquatic food, destroy the embankments, collapse the dam system, and threaten the livelihoods of people who live on the sea. From here, people who are only used to fishing with nets now have to learn how to hold guns, use traps, and coordinate with professional hunting teams to protect their lives. Imagine you are a shrimp farmer, waking up early in the morning, going out to check the pond and discovering that the water has been drained. The pond banks have been plowed. The food has been chewed up. The culprit is none other than the ferocious wild boars that are active at night. Not just one or two, but a whole herd of 20 to 50 at a time. Operating like special forces, organized, disciplined, and extremely difficult to deal with. Let's go to the southern United States, where wild boars are most rampant. It is estimated that there are currently more than 6 million wild pigs living in more than 35 states. From Texas, Florida, to California and even northern states like Michigan. Texas alone accounts for about 40% of the population with more than 2 million. A number that has even forced the state government to launch major campaigns to eliminate these wild pigs. However, killing them is not easy. They are intelligent, alert, nocturnal, and only appear when they feel safe. Methods such as traps, drugs, or even snipers from helicopters have been applied. And in that context, the people, including fishermen living in coastal lagoons, have become reluctant warriors in the war against a seemingly harmless animal. They form hunting teams, take night shifts, set up motion sensor cameras, use semi-automatic guns, infrared lights, drones, and even remote-controlled automatic traps. Many of them were former soldiers, long-time hunters, and even civilians who had never held a gun before, but now they had to learn to shoot to survive. Historically, wild pigs are not native to North America. They were brought here by the first Europeans to set foot on this land. As early as the 16th century, Spanish explorers who arrived in Florida and the southern coastal regions brought domestic pigs, a portable source of live food, with them for their long journeys. These pigs were not caged, but were set free to forage in the forests, with the hope that they would multiply and become a plentiful source of meat in the future. Little did anyone know, that seemingly simple act was the beginning of one of the most dangerous biological invasions in American history. Over many generations, abandoned or escaped domestic pigs began to adapt to the wild environment. They gradually changed, becoming stronger, with longer tusks, thick and coarse hair, and more feral behavior. In particular, when native European wild boars were introduced for hunting in the 19th and 20th centuries, they interbred with native wild pigs, creating hybrids that are extremely aggressive. Intelligent, and highly productive. From an initial few hundred, wild boars have become a national concern. Biologists call this a model biological invasion, when an alien species not only adapts, but also outcompetes and destroys the native ecosystem. The main reason they are dangerous is not their size. Although an adult wild boar can weigh up to 200 to 300 kilograms, but their reproductive rate. A female can have 2 litters a year. Each containing 4 to 12 young. They have no natural predators in the United States. Are long-lived, omnivorous, and extremely adaptable. According to statistics, to keep the wild boar population stable, at least 70% of the total must be destroyed each year, a number that has been almost impossible to achieve until now. This population explosion has had dire consequences. States such as Texas, Florida, Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi and Louisiana are the most affected. Wild boars that originally lived only in forests have now spread to urban areas, attacking golf courses, orchards, residential gardens, even chewing up school lawns or destroying cemeteries. They dig up the ground, destroy vegetation cover, cause soil erosion, and destroy tree root systems. On farms, they damage irrigation systems, eat crops such as corn, soybeans, watermelons, sugarcane, wheat, pumpkins, and even grass for cattle. According to the United States Department of Agriculture, USDA, the total damage caused by wild boars is estimated at $2.5 billion per year, a number that is enough to give any government a headache. Not only that, wild boars are also the source of a series of dangerous diseases such as brucellosis, pseudo-rabies, foot and mouth disease, and intestinal parasites. These diseases can spread to livestock, pets, and even humans. In many cases, herds of wild boars have infected dairy cows, causing the entire cattle farm to fail. In addition to agricultural damage, wild boars are also enemies of natural ecosystems. They eat eggs and young of birds, reptiles, amphibians, and small mammals. In wetlands, home to rare migratory birds, wild boars destroy ecosystems in just a few months. They compete with native species for food, disrupt the food chain, and reduce biodiversity. Conservation areas, which are home to many rare species, are now also threatened by the invasion of these uninvited creatures. Many campaigns to eradicate wild boars have been launched nationwide, from using large traps, remote-controlled traps, to hiring helicopters to snipe from above. Some places even develop robots and drones to hunt wild pigs. But despite that, the number of pigs continues to increase, because they are smart. learn to avoid traps, are mostly nocturnal, and adapt to all environments from forests to swamps, from farms to residential areas. Why do we say that fishermen are also affected? Because in areas like Louisiana, the Florida Panhandle, and the Gulf of Texas, where aquaculture is interspersed with forests and swamps, wild pigs have destroyed pond banks, punctured dikes, chewed up bags of seafood feed, and even attacked aquaculture tanks. If only 20 pigs come in one night, the entire shrimp or fish fry crop is considered lost, and people, including fishermen, now have no choice but to take up guns, set traps, learn tracking and sniping skills, and deal with them like professional hunters. At first, many people chose the simplest way, building fences around their gardens or farms, setting up a few traditional iron traps, or hiring hunters to shoot a few animals. But things quickly got out of hand, out of control. A 2-meter-high fence. Wild boars can dig through the roots. A cage trap. They avoid it by going the other way. Shoot 10 today, 30 tomorrow. All initial efforts have failed. In some places, people have even set up high-end electric fences. But just one heavy rain that cuts the power supply can destroy the banks of ponds and gardens the next morning. For fishermen living along the Louisiana swamps or the coastal fish and shrimp farming areas of Florida, this threat is no longer a side story. A failed crop due to wild boar damage means bankruptcy, debt, and loss of livelihood. No one can stand still when they see an entire season, an entire fortune, plowed away overnight. And so, they stand up. People who used to only know how to cast nets, weave boats, and harvest seafood now have to learn how to set traps, install infrared lights, set up motion cameras, and use hunting rifles. They learn to track wild boar tracks on wet ground, distinguish sounds at night, listen to signals on recorders. And even learn to work in teams, like Special Forces soldiers. They are fishermen by day, hunters by night. In Texas, considered the biggest battlefield in the war against wild pigs. A cooperative model of wild boar hunting between farmers, fishermen and hunters has been born. These hunting teams often use drones to scan the swamp at night, locating wild boar herds using heat sensors. Immediately after that, a ground team will ambush and take action. Some teams even use guns fired from helicopters, an expensive but extremely effective method for areas that are too large to reach. Many people have to invest thousands of dollars to buy high-tech traps. One of them is a remote-controlled trap system, including a large metal fence, food placed in the middle, and a live television camera. When the herd enters, the operator, whether sitting at home or even hundreds of miles away, simply presses a button on his phone and the trap automatically snaps shut. The entire herd is caught at once. Such traps can capture up to 30 wild boars at a time. Some groups use hunting dogs, mainly pit bull, Catahoula or black-mouth cur crossbreeds, trained to track down, corner and hold the wild boars until the hunters arrive. However, this is dangerous work. Adult male wild boars can deliver powerful blows that can seriously injure dogs. and even kill people if not careful. In some places, people use recording systems that play piglet squeals, mimicking the sound of injured pigs to lure the adult herd back to save the young. Then suddenly attack. Others use drones to spray anesthetics, a solution tested by research facilities, in the hope of temporarily putting the pigs to sleep, then capturing them alive for processing. However, no matter how advanced technology is, it has its limits. Wild boars are very smart. After witnessing their own kind being caught a few times, they will change their feeding times, change their routes, and even avoid areas with a metallic smell. Many fishermen shared, they seem to have radar. As soon as they see a car coming, they disappear. We have to learn their way, be patient, be quiet, wait, and act quickly. Some people have spent the whole night stalking a herd of wild boars in the mud. Only to have the whole herd run away at dawn when they heard the sound of a boat engine in the distance. There are also families who have invested nearly $10 in cameras, electric traps, drones, and hunting dogs, but have only caught a few dozen before the wild boars move on to attack other areas. But in this fierce battle, they still do not give up, because for them, this is not just a matter of crops or economic loss, but survival. If they do not stand up against it, the wild boars will continue to multiply, spread, and turn their entire land into a wasteland.